At the heart of Trinity College Dublin lies one of Ireland's greatest cultural treasures. Within these historic walls, the Book of Kells has been preserved for over 1,000 years. Created by Celtic monks, this illuminated manuscript is celebrated for its extraordinary detail and craftsmanship. Every page is filled with intricate pattern, vivid color, and deep symbolism rooted in Irish culture. More than a book, it reflects Ireland's tradition of faith, learning, and artistic mastery, a timeless symbol of the nation's cultural and historical legacy. Let's begin this journey through the Book of Kells. I was sitting on these benches, there's the pavilion, this is the ground, and you never know how fast time flies in these benches. So it's very scenic to sit here. And I guess we have reached. This is the the backside of the Book of Kells library, and actually I am going alone because I actually invited one of my friends, Tatanmai, but she ditched me. Actually the college is so beautiful. Actually I am planning to give a whole campus tour when actually I get familiar with the college, because it's just 2 months I have been in the college. So I actually wanted to get every corner of the library, and then I will make a proper video for you. You can see there's a tour guide going on, and this is the main iconic photo spot. And I'm sorry, this is not the background of the Book of Kells library. So this is the main Book of Kells library, and this is also the part of Book of Kells experience. You can just shop anything. We have to get in the queue, and I just forgot to tell that since I am a Trinity student, I can bring 2 friends or anyone with me, and it is completely free for me. So I can visit as much as I can during my term. Otherwise it's for 25 euro per person, which is Indian rupees like 2500 per person, which is really expensive. So this is the entry, and you can just scan the QR code to book.
Welcome to the Book of Kells experience at Trinity College Dublin. The first stage of your journey will take you through the Old Library, which first opened its doors in 1732. The Old Library is home to the Book of Kells, Ireland's greatest cultural treasure, and the Long Room, which is considered to be one of the most beautiful libraries in the world.
Ogham was an ancient alphabet used to record primitive Irish, probably dating to the 4th century and possibly even earlier. The surviving Ogham inscriptions are inscribed on standing stones, known as Ogham stones, but they were probably more commonly carved on wood. Ogham script is read vertically, with various combinations of horizontal lines and notches along an upright stem representing different letters and sounds. Ogham stones can be found in Ireland, predominantly in the southwest, but examples can also be found in Wales, Scotland, England, and the Isle of Man.
Although Ogham has traditionally been regarded as a pagan writing system, recent studies have dated the majority of Ogham stones to the 5th and 6th century, well within the Christian era in Ireland. Ogham inscriptions record the names of individuals and their tribal links, and it is thought that the 2 examples here may have been positioned to mark territorial boundaries. Of the 300 or so surviving ancient Ogham stones in Ireland, over 80 originate from County Kerry alone.
The larger stone is from a ring fort, a Bronze Age circular fortified settlement in Fort William, County Kerry. The words Anam, meaning name, and Mach, meaning son, are carved into the stone. The smaller stone is from the island of Inishvikilawn, one of the Blasket Islands off the coast of County Kerry. Here the words Anam, meaning name, and Avi, meaning grandson, are visible. Crosses were carved into all 4 sides of the stone. The use of Ogham as a script carved into stone declined from the 7th century, but it did still survive as a scholastic Ogham, written in the margins of some 9th century Irish manuscripts. Book of Kells contains the four Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It was written around 800 AD, nearly 600 years before the invention of movable printing characters in China, and 400 years after St. Patrick arrived in Ireland. Two monasteries are important to the story of the Book of Kells: the Monastery of Iona, situated on an island near the west coast of Scotland, and the Monastery of Kells in County Meath.
St. Columcille, or Columba, was the founder of the monastery at Iona, and we believe that the Book of Kells might have been written to honour the anniversary of his death. The Book of Kells was moved, presumably, for its safety. The isolated island of Iona was attacked by Vikings in 795, in 802, and again in a devastating raid in 806, during which 68 monks were killed. Some of the surviving monks left Iona to set up another monastery at Kells, County Meath, presumably bringing the great gospel book with them to this safer refuge.
To the right-hand side is an enlargement of the symbols of the four evangelists that feature in the Book of Kells: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. In Christian tradition, these are the names of the authors of the four Gospels in the New Testament. The word evangelist is translated from the Greek, meaning bringing good news. Clockwise, from top left, St. Matthew is represented by the man, St. Mark by the lion, St. Luke by the calf, and St. John by the eagle. In the 4th century, Pope Gregory identified the symbols as the four stages in the life of Christ: born as a man, becoming a sacrificial calf in death, a lion in resurrection, and finally, as an eagle ascending into heaven. The Book of Kells is renowned for the richness and beauty of its decoration, and today, some 1,200 years after the manuscript was created, its colours still shine brightly. It is so exquisitely painted that for centuries people have wondered about the source of its vibrant and varied colour palette. Well, years of research into the Book of Kells pigments have revealed that its colours were largely created using locally sourced materials readily available in medieval Ireland and Scotland.
The main ink used for the script is iron gall ink, an ancient ink made from crushed oak apples, iron sulfate and gum, mixed with wine or vinegar and iron sulfate. The blue is an indigo dye extracted from the woad plant, which was widely grown in Ireland and Britain for dyeing clothing. Purple was created using lichen, a fungus plant hybrid which grows on trees, soil and rocks throughout Ireland. The very rich yellow pigment in the manuscript was made from arsenic sulfide. This was also known as auri pigmentum, or gold pigment, in recognition of its lustrous golden quality. When you look at the Book of Kells, you will notice how this golden colour shines out from the pages.
These shades have been applied with great creativity as pure colour, in simple mixtures, and in layers. Areas of colour are often accentuated with red dots, which create a lively pattern on the cream-coloured parchment. Like other manuscripts of the period, the Book of Kells was written on prepared calfskin, known as vellum, an example of which can be seen here. The skins of approximately 185 calves were used to make the Book of Kells. To prepare vellum, the skin was soaked in lime, then hair and other debris was scraped away using a knife. The prepared skin was stretched on a wooden frame for drying. Each skin has a hair side and a flesh side. In fact, hair follicles can be seen on the pages of some medieval manuscripts. The Book of Kells scribes used the smooth flesh side of the vellum for their most elaborate decorated pages.
In medieval times, vellum was a valuable resource. As a result, scribes made use of available skins, whether they were perfect or not, and some stitching is still visible showing where the book was repaired or patched. Did you notice the repair stitching on the bottom right-hand corner of the four evangelists' folio? Vellum was a very effective writing surface, because if the scribes made any mistakes, these could be easily removed by simply scraping the surface with a knife. Scribes used quill pens, made from the flight feathers of swans or geese.
Make your way across to the other side of the exhibition to enjoy the video on the work of the scribes, called The Art of the Quill. If you are very quiet, You will even hear the scraping of the quill as the scribe writes on the vellum. You now find yourself standing in front of one of the most celebrated images of medieval art.
The Chi-Rho page of the Book of Kells. Chi-Rho is the Greek abbreviation of the name of Christ.
Can you see the letters X, P, and I in a stylized format?
The intricacy of the details is astounding, even at this degree of magnification. And one wonders at how the young monks created such minute details in the Book of Kells. It was incredibly skilled and disciplined work, which placed tremendous demands on their eyesight and stamina. In fact, it was common for monks working on manuscripts to occasionally write notes to each other in the margins, saying things like, "Oh, I'm tired of this. It's cold in here." Or, "I wish this was finished."
These monks were most likely young, around 18 or so, or possibly even younger. In fact, in those days, 18 was considered middle-aged.
Finally, this is your chance to put all the strands of history together and view the world's most famous medieval manuscript in the flesh. The Book of Kells is displayed in a carefully controlled environment at a constant humidity level and protected from damaging light levels.
The Book of Kells was not made for everyday use. It was in fact a ceremonial manuscript designed to sit on an altar. It would have been an awe-inspiring sight when it was created 1,200 years ago, since most people at that time had very little exposure to such artistic work. We don't know the identities of the individual scribes or artists, but their personalities are revealed in the extraordinary variety of decorated letters and words on each page. They can be playful, geometric, fluid, intensely expressive, but never repetitive. Even if you can read Latin, it still takes time for your eye to adjust to the beautiful but unfamiliar script, where a letter can be formed by the contorted bodies of humans or animals.
The Book of Kells is truly one of the single greatest achievements of the early medieval monastic world. The originality of its design, the inventive use of its colouring, and the intricate complexity of its imagery must surely place this great gospel book among the wonders of the world. It is a great privilege for Trinity College to have the responsibility of preserving it so that it continues to inspire future generations.
Next, make your way upstairs to view the magnificent long room.
Welcome to the Old Library's Long Room, often referred to as Ireland's front room, and considered to be one of the most beautiful libraries in the world. The library chamber has been a working library since 1732 and is used by students and scholars still to this day. A landmark restoration and conservation project is currently underway to safeguard the building called the Old Library Redevelopment Project. As part of this, all of the collections housed in the Old Library have been removed and transferred to special storage. Helen Shenton, librarian and college archivist, explains more.
There are three main components to the current Old Library redevelopment project. Firstly, the conservation of this 18th century building and the protection of the vast library collections that span millennia. We must conserve the building for its 4th century and must improve the environment and fire protection for the collections. Secondly, for our visitors, we're creating a new exhibition, an interpretation of the Book of Kells and library treasures in an enhanced museum experience. And thirdly, we're creating a new inspirational research collections study centre of international standards for students and researchers. In order to do this, we must move all the collections out as part of a decant of 700,000 items. This will involve updating the records to make them electronic, cleaning the volumes and tagging them so that they can be tracked. We're also creating an alternative research collection study space so that all the books can be accessed by our readers throughout the closure period for the construction. The Old Library is at the very heart of Trinity College Dublin. It's the soul of the university. The library and its collections are some of Ireland's greatest cultural heritage, which we must conserve for generations to come.
By now you will have noticed there are very little books on the shelves, as our conservation team have removed the majority of the items from the old library. The shelves and the long room library chamber have not been empty for hundreds of years, which means what you are witnessing is a once-in-a-lifetime historic event. The process of removing the books is called a decant, and a decant of this scale is quite rare. Each book that has been removed from a shelf has been cleaned with a specialized vacuum, then measured, tagged, and linked to an online catalogue record before being safely relocated to a temporary climate-controlled storage facility. The large screens hanging in the library showcase behind-the-scenes footage of the decant. The first display case in the long room contains one of the few surviving copies of the Proclamation of the Irish Republic, which is probably one of the most iconic documents in Irish history. It was read aloud by Patrick Pearse outside Dublin's General Post Office, GPO, at the beginning of the 1916 Rising. After declaring themselves the Provisional Government of the Irish Republic, the signatories of this historical document were subsequently court-martialed and sentenced to death. The 1916 proclamation was published by the Irish Citizen Army and the Irish Volunteers during the Easter Rising. It states that an independent Irish Republic had been declared and that an independent provisional government had been appointed. The document was ahead of its time in many ways, calling for a republic when most of Europe was ruled by emperors and kings. Approximately 1,000 copies were printed in Liberty Hall at the time, and today there are only about 50 in existence. We believe the one you are looking at may have been taken from the walls of the Rebels HQ at O'Connell Street. Hence, this document is extremely rare. Apparently, they ran out of some typeface before it was printed and had to raid another printer to complete the layout. This could explain why there is more than one font in use in this rare copy of the Proclamation of the Irish Republic. Since the 18th century, the Long Room Library Chamber has been lined with marble sculpture portraits representing great thinkers, scholars and writers through the ages. Many of the sculptures represent figures connected with Trinity College Dublin. On St. Bridget's Day, the 1st of February 2023, sculptures of 4 women scholars have been added to the space for the first time. The women represented are the scientist Rosalind Franklin, the folklorist, dramatist and theatre founder Augusta Gregory, the mathematician Ada Lovelace, and the pioneering women's rights advocate Mary Wollstonecraft. This display case contains the Brian Boru harp, which is Ireland's oldest surviving harp. Does it look familiar? Its image appears on all government stationery, Irish coins, flags and passports today. You may also recognise it as the emblem of Guinness. The Brian Boru harp is made of oak and willow, and if you look closely, you will see ornate carvings and the markings where there once was semi-precious stones. It was donated to Trinity College Dublin in 1782 and has been associated with the King of Ireland, Brian Boru, who lost his life at the Battle of Clontarf in 1014. It was designed to be portable in order to be brought around the castles of Ireland to entertain the kings of the day. The bards who played these instruments were the oral historians of the time, keeping alive the songs, the stories, and the sagas of the era. This brings us to the end of your visit to the old library. However, it is not the end of the Book of Kells experience. If you've chosen the full Book of Kells experience ticket, we now invite you to join us as we walk to the Red Pavilion, where Chapter 2 of your journey begins. Prepare for an extraordinary, immersive exploration of the Book of Kells and the old library like never before. Journey to the Red Pavilion. On leaving the old library, you will take the pathway to the right to move to the Red Pavilion. You'll pass a red brick terraced building. This is known as the Rubrics. The Rubrics is the oldest surviving building in Trinity, and it was built in the 1690s. Today it is used to accommodate students, university fellows and visitors to the campus. To get to the Red Pavilion, continue walking down the path into New Square, with the rubrics on your left and the old library on your right. As soon as you step into New Square, you will see the Red Pavilion building. To get to the front entrance, take your first left along the path and walk along the back of the rubrics building. The Red Pavilion is a self-guided experience that will take you through a series of immersive digital spaces showcasing the old library's precious collections and a 360-degree journey through the Book of Kells. Your experience ends in our gift shop, which features exclusive Irish design collections, clothing and gifts inspired by Trinity. We hope you enjoy the rest of your journey and would like to take this opportunity to thank you for visiting the Book of Kells experience.
Time. No one knows exactly how old it really is, though scholars believe it is from around 800 AD and began life on the lonely Isle of Iona in the Scottish Hebridean Islands, in the monastery that the Irish monk St. Columba founded there. Here, beside the sea, he established his community of monks, a school for missionaries, and a scriptorium, in which the Word of God was written on vellum. The book contains the 4 Gospels from the Christian New Testament in Latin. Masterfully illustrated, its making was itself an act of devotion to God. The book is vibrantly colourful. Elaborate Celtic spirals combined with images drawn from Christian beliefs. On its pages, fantastical intertwining creatures inhabit the same world as animals that the scribes might have seen every day. Texts in a similar style were produced in monasteries influenced by the Irish Church across Europe. But the Book of Kells is seen as the finest example of them all. The text was written using natural inks and pigments, and it is believed that just a few scribes were involved in writing all the words that the Book of Kells contains. But the book was made in dangerous times. Viking raids were frequent, with many battles and much destruction. In these early days, the Vikings were devotees of their own Old Norse religion, and they had no care for Christian symbols or communities. Nothing was safe from their attacks, which came with little warning. At first, the monks of Iona endured these destructive raids, but at last they risked all and fled across the stormy seas to Ireland, carrying the book with them. A single wave could easily have swept them and the precious book away. greeted by gentle green countryside, a place of farming communities. Still in search of safety, they travelled 30 miles inland to a new Columban monastery at Kells in County Meath. The book became part of religious life in Kells, and it was revered as a great relic. It's even possible that work on the book continued there. But it proved no safer. The book was stolen, thought lost forever, and then found months later buried underground. Its casing, which is believed to have been ornamented with gold and jewels, was never seen again. But thankfully, the rest of the book survived. Returned to the church at Kells, the book remained there until civil unrest meant that it was safe there no longer. In 1661, the Bishop of Meath gifted it to Trinity College Dublin, where it remains to this day. Scholars and visitors alike have studied it ever since, contemplating its meaning and ever in awe of the beauty of the world-famous manuscript.
Generations of scholars poured one of the most treasured books in the Trinity collection since 1732.
So I have completed the Book of Kells experience and it was really fantastic. I was like, the only one word which came in my mind was surreal. Like, I can't express in word how much I like the red one video presentation, because the movie was like a proper 360-degree view, and I haven't seen such presentation before, and I really felt that I should have bring my parents. Like, I hope to bring my parents here someday, or maybe some loved ones. I can show them, this is the college I'm studying in. So I hope you enjoyed my video, and like, I can't believe I recorded and documented all the Book of Kells experience. The only thing I couldn't capture was the Book of Kells, the main book, which was kept because it was very restricted area. There's a lady who keeps an eye to check if someone clicks photo or not. So I have maybe used AI or just googled photo and put it in video. So that is the only thing I missed. Rest I tried to capture everything as much as I can possible. What I'm saying, as much I can possible. So So I tried to document all the things which were possible from my side, and I even documented the movie, the 8-minute movie of Book of Kells. The only movie I couldn't document was the old library, because I have shot some parts, but I was like, the audio is very poor and you must feel very bored. So I didn't capture that. Rest I captured everything, and in the last there was a gift shop, and I was very tempted to buy everything, mostly because it had Trinity College branding. Maybe when I will return to my home country, I will take some for my family and friends. And I really feel proud that, oh, I'm studying in such a great college where Jonathan Swift and Oscar Wilde has just studied, and it feels very amazing. And I hope you enjoy this scene as well, and I hope to see you in the next video. And I I hope I hope that Trinity College doesn't sue me or send me a lawsuit, because I documented everything. I mean, you have to pay 25 euros, which is a lot. I mean, if you are 4-person, then 25 4 is 100. You are paying 100 euros, and you know I made it available for you absolutely free. So please don't sue me. uh, Hope to see you in the next video, and please bear with me if I spell some wrong English or fumble in between, because I'm not very ready to speak English in front of camera. So yeah, hope to see you in the next one. Till then, Chaitanya Pimputkar signing off.